Now let's see interesting differences of characters in C versus Rust. Here the right hand side of the screen is C code and left hand side is Rust code. So it's basically a very simple program. There is a variable C of type char and holds a value uppercase A, and the character is being printed and size of the character also is being printed. Let's execute this program. So if you see, this character is A and size of the character is 1 byte. Now similarly, here C is a binding of type char and holds uppercase A. Similar to C program, C is being printed, character is being printed, and size of the character is being printed using a library function. Let us execute this code. So if you see, the character aspect is same, but the size is different. Here it says it occupies 4 bytes, right? The C program said it occupied 1 byte. So this is one of the surprises to C engineers, because when you access strings, so all the direct indexing of accessing byte by byte for strings becomes inaccessible. You cannot access like that. Okay, and we are going to cover that in detail when we do strings. Okay, now let's see what are the differences. Why are there differences? So C uses something called ASCII representation, right? So ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So ASCII uses 7 bits to represent each character, and hence it can represent around 128 characters, values ranging from 0 to 127. So these include what? So these include all the uppercase letters from A to Z, then lowercase letters, then digits from 0 to 9, then punctuation marks, all the control characters such as tab, new line, carriage return, etc. Okay, and if you want to represent something extra, it introduced something called 8-bit extended ASCII. Okay, we don't need to go into that, but the ASCII standard basically came into picture in 1963. Okay, and that was long ago, right? And C came into picture in 1972. So it was enough, right? So, but however, the world progressed so much that ASCII was not enough for us. So Rust follows something called Unicode characters. Okay, so this was introduced in 1991, and it is basically provides universal character encoding standard. So there are around, according to this, there are more than 1 million combinations of code points in Unicode, but however we don't have so many characters. So currently we have around 150,000 characters that are used. Okay, and those are across English, Indian languages, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Arabic, say mathematical symbols, currency symbols, emojis, musical symbols, and many more. Okay, so Unicode basically identifies, it gives a number for each character, and for encoding it uses something called UTF-8 encoding. So basically it defines how the numbers are stored as bytes in the memory. So for example, character A is assigned this code point and stored like this in UTF-8 encoding. Right, so this is one of the differences between C and Rust. So a lot of this will be covered in while doing, string operations, how to access all of this. But for now, just know that, the size is 4 bytes versus 1 byte in C. Okay, up to 4 bytes it can take. Okay.